Hi everyone, this is Alexis. I'm just about to give a channel perspective on the uniqueness of the Lions Gateway activation of this year 2025. Now, this 16-day period of time is an amazing time on the planet when our sense of self, the earth represents our self and our reality, and the sun represents our ego, our sense of identity and how we run our consciousness. Our physical self and reality aligns then with our spiritual sense of self, which is represented by Sirius, which is the sun of the spiritual realm, the sun that we know of as the sun of the physical realm, which represents the masculine, the sun, and Sirius, the feminine, the spiritual aspect of self. Now, it's a time that we're basically being grounded and encouraged for our physical sense of self to then unify and become one with our spiritual sense of self. So you could say that the veils between our mortality and our physical self breaks down, and we begin to see our immortality, which is our spiritual sense of self. It's also, Sirius itself is a profound stellar system, and it's a doorway into a whole interdimensional realm where spiritual beings reside that help filter interdimensional frequencies. These are not just light codes and frequencies that are created within our own hemisphere or universe through astrological alignments and cosmic events and meteorite showers. All creates a frequency for us to absorb light into our body and being. But it's also a star system that connects interdimensionally into all these different planetary realms and higher beings that help filter interdimensional frequencies. So this is lights and codes and grid technology and frequencies of light that come from beyond our hemisphere, our astrological events that are occurring within our dimension. And these light frequencies come from beyond fifth-dimensional frequencies. They come from higher dimensional frequencies and realms within higher universes and constellations and dimensions. So this light frequency comes through the grid and through into our body, represented by the earth. These light frequencies come in and they consolidate with light codes and astrological events that are happening in our universe and filter light into our body so we can absorb light. And in doing that, light then anchors codes within our DNA to access elements and prana and frequencies of light to help heal our body and to help crystalline and purify our being, our mind, body, soul, and spirit, so we can anchor more of our light body. And our light body is the body of our higher self. It is the aspect of self that takes us beyond the physical, mortal reality and makes us immortal, helps us transit between life and death and life again interdimensionally as we evolve. So it actually consolidates and creates our divine blueprint, you could say. Now, until we get to a place of awakening, we optimize our light body unconsciously. So it creates our immortality. It gives us the resources to absorb light and heal ourselves, recode our DNA to evolve and to ascend. But it also enables us to then transcend beyond the physical death process, have higher spiritual experiences, and then reincarnate until we get to a place of awakening. And when we awaken, we get to a place where we utilize and crystalline more of our higher self and our light body, and we're living beyond the restrictions of reality. So we're evolving and we're ascending, and that's when we begin to have really profound experiences. We begin to heal ourselves more effectively. We begin to have really interdimensional and profound experiences. We get touch within the realm of spirit. We feel an angel. We feel a loved one coming through. We have a profound activation from a crystal or stellar system. Our meditations become more exponential. We actually begin to utilize more of our light body and Merkaba. So we're actually creating and manifesting more within our reality. We're not living within third dimensional matrix systems and realities that are really restrictive to our potential or our ability to manifest and co-create in the moment, to heal ourselves and deliver reality that's of our divine blueprint of our higher self, so that we're actually exploring more within the world around us, and we're having more profound experiences, and we come out of the realm of pain, fear, and struggle. So what's actually happening at this time when this porthole happens, this one time in the year, beginning from the 28th of July and completing on the 12th of August, peaking around the 8th of August, is that we get infused with a huge, profound level of frequencies within our DNA and our electromagnetic system and our body, for light to then come in and heal long-term restrictive patterning, but to also be more receptive and open to our higher self, to download more awareness and clarity within our subconscious that filters into our consciousness, and then to actually then crystalline more of our higher self. And if at that particular point in time, we could really get encouraged to see a bigger picture, to unblock on a real core level and start to shift our perception and open ourselves up to expansion, to change, to really start to anchor in more magic and possibilities within ourselves and our reality. Now, the interesting thing about this particular activation this year is that we are also in the time of a Chiron retrograde that actually began at the end of July the 30th and is going to continue to run to January the 2nd next year. So we're right at the portal or the beginning of a Chiron retrograde in Aries. Now, Chiron, we work a lot with Chiron in transference healing. So this means that whatever your Chiron is, and if you want to know more about Chiron, you can read it up in my Beyond Always book, or you can get onto the Transference Healing website and download a copy of what your Chiron is. You're going to be really triggered to break through some really core patterning that's limited you in your healing potential and your possibilities. And it's a key opportunity to really start to heal long-term pain, whether it's pain in your body that you could call past life or genetic. But this pain also influences the way that you feel emotionally about yourself and how you run your emotions and your awareness and your consciousness as a whole. So you're actually in a core opportunity this year at this Lionsgate activation to actually really go deep and begin to heal long-term restrictions and pain that's really limited your power, your potential, and your manifestation abilities. Now, with that Chiron retrograde, it's not only impacting you and compelling you to look at your Chiron more and giving you the resources to heal it on a really deeper core level now, but it's also in Aries. So this Chiron retrograde in Aries is compelling everybody on the planet to really start to delve in and really start to really move their energy in a new way, to actually compelling them to go into introspection, to not be distracted by thought patterns or people's perceptions around you that's limited you, that you actually it's compelling you now. It's saying you've got the resources within you. You're more connected to your higher self than you've ever been. This is the time now to heal yourself on a core level so that you can finally break free from these limitations and painful symptoms or circumstances that you've really you're tired of. You want to move beyond it. So it's a doorway opportunity for deep-seated healing, for the manifestation to come through more. I did do a channeling last year. It began beginning of last year, where I said from the middle of last year to the middle of this year, probably to now, there was going to be a trigger response within the global grid matrix system. A divine saintly being came through the guidance of Mother Mary and said, and she was kind of crying and said, Lex, you've got to get this message out into the world. We're working on a higher level, but the heart of humanity is going to go through a trigger response to really heal core wounding on a soul level as much as within their body that's restricted their reconnection to the light. And they're going to be compelled to heal a certain amount of genetic codes and distortions from past lives, because there's going to be a more massive awakening process that's going to be triggered within the heart of humanity. And we really don't want people to feel the pain. We want them to know that if they're feeling overwhelmed, and really some people will even feel a sense of grief, or they feel that they're lost, or some people will just feel symptoms in their body. And but what she said is that this will pass for a lot of people, but this is coming up because they're being triggered to really heal core wounding within their soul. And we're here for them. We've got so much spiritual beings coming through, and so much guidance from the elemental to the angelic, and from these saintly divine beings that are coming in to help transmute this plane out of the heart of humanity, out of the body of humanity, and into the light, and even out of the earth, to help us make this transition that's so important for us to break through and live this new reality that's birthing for us as we heal and we grow at this vital time of awakening. And I was doing the academy channeling just last week, and a lady asked me in the channeling, is this being and these divine beings still there? Is this healing process still happening? And I got guided to tune in, and I said, yes, they're saying it is still happening. And the reason why and she said, and I did say in the channeling, it will actually continue to accelerate. So where the healing's going to get bigger, the divine guidance is going to get bigger. And when I looked and tuned in to the Lionsgate activation and saw the Chiron retrograde's effect within the body and within the heart of humanity at this time, it was just confirmation of that channeling, that this is actually a really vital time of deep healing, deep self-realization, a point where we're just being compelled, because of the way we feel, to really connect more to our higher self through introspection, and to make really quite big changes for us to heal and to get to a place that we're doing what we really want to be doing now, which is living more potentiality, living more of our higher self, educating ourselves, going to fields of study, maybe alternative healing or spiritual practices, or educating ourselves in a way that we're moving forward and doing the things that feeds our soul, that lifts expands our potential, that breaks through our reality, this ongoing restrictions at certain levels of our reality. So it's interesting that I chose last year to do I only train once a year online, and my training is beginning in the beginning of September, but the bookings are closing next Tuesday, and that's the actual date that the Lions Gateway completes its process for that 16-day period. So I'm actually beginning the training just after this Lion Gate activation. That's a relative to deep-seated healing and spiritual empowerment. So I'm really, I feel really quite blessed, I guess, to be given this opportunity to be doing this training online at this critical time of self-healing and enlightenment at this point in 2025 moving forward. So if you're interested, you can get onto the Transference Healing website, and you can book into that training, which it closes. The bookings close next Tuesday, the 12th of August. Now, what I did do is I did a very quick reading to see what other messages that came through. And the key words they say, there is a jewel within every teardrop, meaning some people are just going to feel like, I've had enough. I've got to really do follow through with what I'm compelled to do and really think about what's important to me right now. So you're just going to feel through circumstances. It could be that you can be feeling some symptoms in your body that's just ongoing and you want to really shift it and you haven't been able to move it. But it's also on a soul level. You could be feeling that you're just not fulfilled and you're not putting yourself in an environment that's conducive to what you want to do, how you want to study, how you want to live, what you want to learn. And this is what they're saying is you're going to feel overwhelmed at times, or you could possibly feel really triggered because it's just things aren't going the way you want them to go. You're not fulfilled, or the circumstances playing out that's pushing you to change. And that's because you're meant to be listening more to your higher self that you need to now do. Because Lionsgate is manifestation. It's this 8-8 energy running, and it's going to compel you to listen more, to follow through more, and the resources will be there for you. So it's like that guide that came through, that saintly being, and said there are soul groups coming through for everybody. And we are on a global level to help people, lift people up and show them the bigger picture for themselves and help them move through these blockages. That's going to clear the genetic blueprint, that's going to run down through their genetic line. This is a time of deep soul healing and evolution that's impacting the mind, body, soul, and spirit. I also looked at a reading to get a bigger picture on if there's any more information that I could share to help people. And I said, look, there's a whole, you've been seeing the grid changing. There's light codes coming through the grid that's helping code people's DNA. And the Sirian gateway activation is helping those codes even more solidify within the blueprint. People are going to feel the light more. Once they move with their perception and they're anchoring more of their higher guidance and sensory perception, they're putting themselves in environments that lift them through meditation or spirituality or learning. They said it's very important to start shifting your mindsets and breaking through patterning that's limited to your bigger picture for what you can see for yourself and the world around you and your reality, your children and your family. You'll start moving beyond these restrictions. And they said that there is a sense of having to let go of some things. You're going to get to a place where, because you're lifting in vibration, that if anything is impacting you, like, any kind of negative influence, maybe there's somebody at work or in your environment or friendship that you just simply need to let go of. Well, that's okay, because those circumstances will change, but be aware that will be commitments that you will make that is of your higher self. And it's important that you put that energy into yourself now, because you're the co-creator of your reality. So I hope that this channeling helped you with this transition that's occurring right now, and looking forward to connecting to you at some time. Thank you and blessings.